Welcome. My name's India. Thank you all for joining us for this multi-faith ritual. In this era of political change and global violence, in this time of semesters coming to a close, in this moment of seasons slowly changing and colder days speckled in with warmer temperatures that bring us both joy and deep concern. In this moment, now, welcome. Today, we invite you into a ritual of coming back to community, a collective grounding ritual during a moment of uncertainty, grief, transition, and ambient suffering. A time to heal together so that we may be held, both by ourselves and by each other, so that we may leave this space and feel capable of taking collective action. I invite you now to find yourself within yourself. You may close your eyes or lighten your gaze. You may find your feet firmly on the ground. Notice the quality of your breath, how it holds you, how it stays with you, even when you do not always stay with it. In this moment, find yourself here. With your eyes staying closed or gaze staying soft, begin to be aware of those around you. Maybe you notice the sound of their breath, the creaks of chairs, the warmth each person emanates into the room. Slowly, I invite you to come back into a relaxed presence, opening your eyes or refocusing your gaze. And as you come back to the space, I invite you to look around. Look at the faces of those who are present with us this afternoon. Make eye contact if you wish, or acknowledge them in some other way. See one another. Welcome. I now invite Ian up for reading and reflection.
I'm going to be reading from 1 Corinthians 12 to 26. For just as the body is one and has many members, and all the members of the body, though many, are one body, so it is with Christ. For in the one Spirit we were all baptized into one body, Jews or Greeks, slaves or free, and we were all made to drink of one Spirit. Indeed, the body does not consist of one member, but of many. If the foot would say, because I am not a hand, I do not belong to the body, that would not make it any less a part of the body. And if the ear would say, because I am not an eye, I do not belong to the body, that would not make it any less a part of the body. If the whole body were an eye, where would the hearing be? If the whole body were hearing, where would the sense of smell be? But as it is, God arranged the members in the body, each one of them as he chose. If all were a single member, where would the body be? As it is, there are many members, yet one body. The eye cannot say to the hand, I have no need of you, nor again the head to the feet, I have no need of you. On the contrary, the members of the body that seem to be weaker are indispensable, and those members of the body that we think less honorable, we clothe with great honor, and our less respectable members are treated with greater respect, whereas our more respectable members do not need this. But God has so arranged the body, giving the greater honor to the inferior member, that there may be no dissension within the body, but the members may have the same care for one another. If one member suffers, all suffer together with it. If one member is honored, all rejoice together with it. Paul's explanation of the community of Christian believers as the body of Christ is a powerful example of what happens when we come together in community. Together, we're not simply a collection of individuals, but an interdependent and collaborative body where each person is not only valued, but needed in order for the body to be whole. Aaron will now help us to ground into our bodies through a breathing exercise.
Thank you. Ecclesiastes 3:1-8 says, "To everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck what is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to gain and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace." As we pause to breathe, think about and meditate on, once you are in community, once you are with community, what season are you in? What can you contribute to the community? And what do you need from the community? So if you can plant yourself, make sure your feet are planted on the ground. One of the most immediate and noticeable benefits of deep breathing is stress reduction. Reduced stress can help provide a clear, more focused perspective. So once you're planted, just take a deep breath in, breathing through your nose, and exhale through your mouth. Another deep breath in through your nose, exhale through your mouth. Now this time I'm going to count to 3, and I want you to take all 3 seconds to inhale. And we're going to hold it for 3 and then exhale on 3. Ready? Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Hold it, 1, 2. We're going to do that on the count of 4 now. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to do it on the count of 5 now. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just give your body a little shake. Give it a little move. Work out some of the angst and the nervousness and the anxiety. And we're going to take another deep breath in. And this time I want you to audibly exhale so that your community can hear you, so that your community can feel you, so that they know you are present in this space. Let's inhale and exhale. I want it to be a little bit louder. Let's do that again. Let's inhale and exhale. Your community needs you. Your community needs to feel you. Your community needs to hear you. Let's do it one more time. Inhale in and exhale. That was beautiful. I like that last one. Let's do that one again. Let's inhale in and exhale. Now just take a few moments and make eye contact with those sitting around you. And I'm going to turn it back over to India.
Thank you, Aaron. In Jewish tradition, the Ner Tamid is a special light that burns in synagogues and never goes out. This eternal light is a reminder of the importance of the symbolism of light within my ancestral faith tradition. For most holy days, we light candles. On Shabbat, Hanukkah, sitting Shiva during times of grieving, and many other days of significance. Light symbolizes the presence of Hashem and the light of truth, especially in times of darkness. Some rabbis have used the concept of Ner Tamid to suggest that Ner Tamid is a metaphor for the light within all of us, not just the light of godliness, as is often referenced in Jewish tradition, but also light that is infinite, shareable, and the source of goodness for us to bring forth into the world. Today, before we begin our ritual of coming together, we will light a candle. In order to welcome the light within each of us, after the candle is lit, we will draw the light into our hearts 3 times, like this. This gesture is often done by Jews on Shabbat after the candles are lit at sundown. In one of his novels, Jonathan Safran Foer describes a Shabbat ritual in which a family would light the candles, close their eyes, and walk around their home. In their inability to see, they gave into unfamiliar vulnerability and perceived the space in a completely new way. They ended their tradition by finding each other, coming together as best they could with eyes still closed. In a moment, after we light the candle, we will ask all of those who are willing to stand, move the chairs to the side, and come back and disperse yourselves in the space. And then we'll ask you to close your eyes. For a few minutes, we will play music, and we will ask those people who close their eyes to slowly wander the space. For those who do not wish to participate in closing their eyes and wandering, you may stand on the side and observe, and we may ask that you help us to make sure that the wanderers do not accidentally run into anything or wander out of the room. For those who choose to wander, we want you to take in how this wandering feels, what it brings up for you, knowing that at any moment, if you feel uncomfortable, you can open your eyes briefly or take a break on the side. If and when you encounter others, we ask that you, of course, do not grab at anyone, but instead use the back of your hand to softly guide yourself in the space. If and when you encounter others, you may choose to stay connected to that person. With each person wandering the space, the idea will be to slowly come back together into some kind of circle or recentering together, in which people will find each other and create a connected shape within the space. Once something of that nature has happened, we will ask everyone to close their eyes and turn off the music, or open their eyes rather, and turn off the music. We'll take in each other's presence and then have our closing that Aaron will guide us through. So, to recap, in this ritual, we will bring the light into ourselves as we light the candle 3 times, creating a Ner Tamid, an eternal light within our hearts. We will trust this internal light as some of us choose to close our eyes and let that light guide us to the light of others in this space, creating together something new entirely as we combine each of our lights. I now ask you to join me in taking in the light 3 times after I light the candle. I now invite those of you who are willing to rise as you are able, move the chairs from the center, And for those who would like to be wanderers, to disperse yourself, and those who would like to observe, to stay on the side. I now invite the wanderers to close their eyes and begin slowly exploring the space, trusting that we will help you if you wander too astray. You may close your eyes. If you have not yet done so, when you encounter others, begin to make a connected formation.
as you start to pause where you are, feeling connected. Everyone take a deep breath in and exhale. And slowly open your eyes. Notice where you are in the room. Notice who you're connected to. How far does it feel like you traveled? And you can release that person. And if we can just stand along the sides just for a few seconds of reflection. So let's just get some words, popcorn out some words. What did that feel like? What was that experience for both those that are wanderers and those that observed? What was the experience? Communal? So trusting touch, or maybe not trusting touch, or leaning into trusting touch.
I was praying that Hail Mary prayer while I was walking around, trying to imagine like I was in a womb, dark and fluid and connected, and felt surrounded by the safety.
You traveled a lot as well. Any other words, any other reflections? Primordial. From those that were observing, any reflections, any thoughts, observations? So what is looking? What is seeing? Any other reflections? Well, thank you all for participating if you were a wanderer or an observer. Thank you, India, for that activity. If everyone could, we're just going to take one final breath together in community, just remembering, thinking about as we go throughout these next days, these next years, what do you need from your community? What can you give your community? How are you finding your community? So let us take a deep breath in and exhale. Let's do it again. Deep breath in and exhale. And for the last time, deep breath in and exhale.
Thank you all. Come back tomorrow. We're going to have a town hall community gathering led by our own president. And then later on in the night, we have our Trans Day Remembrance Vigil. Go in peace.